Hello, and welcome back to our video lecture series on poetry. Today, we're going to look at one specific way on how to analyze a poem that may be helpful to you. This technique is called TPCASTT. We call it that because each letter of the abbreviation stands for something. It stands for title, paraphrase, connotation, attitude, shifts, title, and theme. When we do this, first we want to start by looking at the title. We will predict what its importance is. What do we think this title means? Is it going to have any special significance later? We make a prediction before we read. After we read the poem, we want to paraphrase it. This is where we look at a poem and just see what happened in the story. We don't want to analyze it or get any deeper than the words on the page. We're just looking at what is this poem about. Then we see connotation. This is when we look for the deeper meaning using figurative language. Is there a simile? Is there a metaphor? What can we find here? Are there symbols that we need to look for that might have a deeper meaning for us when looking at the meaning of the poem? Attitude. We want to look at the tone and emotions of the poem because that can help us with the meaning, whether it's happy about a topic, angry about a topic, sad about a topic, can help us determine what that poem is trying to communicate about its subject matter. S stands for shifts, and these are changes, any change in topics, emotions, etc. We really saw this when we were looking at the poem The Bells by Edgar Allan Poe. We were able to see the shifts between the bells, between the types of sounds that were being used, and the types of emotions that were given with the sounds. And those shifts helped us see that this poem was actually about life. Once we have done all that, we want to take a look at the title again to see if there's any deeper meaning involved. There could be a poem about something completely symbolic, but the title is the key to understanding what it's really about. And then finally, the last T stands for theme. And once we've done all this, we can figure out the major message that the poem is trying to communicate. We can look at what the poem means, what the poem is saying, and how the poem relates to the everyday life, and how the poem relates to the world. For this exercise, I'd like to take a look at one of my favorite poems, and it is called Rebecca, Who Slammed Doors for Fun and Perished Miserably by Hilaire Belloc. Now first, we're going to take a look at the title, and I think this poem is going to be about a girl named Rebecca who slams doors. Something bad must have happened because of her. The next thing we're going to do is just read the poem, now that we've made our prediction. A trick that everyone abhors in little girls is slamming doors. A wealthy banker's little daughter, who lived in Palace Green, Bayswater, by name of Rebecca Offendort, was given to this furious sport. She would deliberately go and slam the door like Billy O to make her Uncle Jacob start. She was not really bad at heart, but only rather rude and wild. She was an aggravating child. It happened that a marble bust of Abraham was standing just above the door this little lamb had carefully prepared to slam, and down it came. It knocked her flat. It laid her out. She looked like that. Her funeral sermon, which was long and followed by a sacred song, mentioned her virtues, it is true, but dwelt upon her vices too, and showed the dreadful end of one who goes and slams the door for fun. Now, when we paraphrase this, we're just going to summarize it. This poem is about a girl named Rebecca who plays jokes by slamming doors and scaring people with a loud noise. Unfortunately, one time she slammed a door that had a statue above it, and the statue fell and killed her. Hopefully now, children know not to slam doors. When we take a look at that, the next thing we want to do is look at the connotation. Word choice, like abhors, shows the extreme hate for this action. Furious is also not a nice word to describe this sport. Rebecca is not described as being the best child when you look at words like rude, wild, or aggravating. Now, if we keep going for deeper meaning, the line of asterisks separate the poem, but are also symbolic. The poem says she was flat and looked like that. The that she looked like is actually this line of asterisks. The statue fell, and now she is flat as a pancake. Splat. A. Attitude. The poem is very sing-songy and happy with the rhyming, but it's actually pretty dark. Shift. There is a shift between when Rebecca is alive or dead. Title. When we go back, we learn that yes, this title is exactly everything we thought it would be. Rebecca who slammed doors for fun and perished miserably. And then finally, theme. Now that we've taken a look at all of these different aspects of the poem, we can say that possible themes might be think before you act, be nice to each other, respect others, follow rules, and behave. And now we know how to analyze a poem thanks to this system of TPCASTT. Thanks, and have a great day.